People, what's up? Man, Facebook trying to stop me from being terrific. They've been trying to stop me from being terrific. 20 minutes I've been trying to get this live on. Probably don't want to hear what I got to say, but nevertheless, I am Carvel Bailey. I am President and CEO of Bless the Ball Skill Development Academy, and you are here with us on Life and Basketball. Welcome, welcome. So what we do on this show is we combine real life applications to basketball. And then we put those two together, understand how basketball things equate into real life situations. So that's why we're here today. All right, this show is always, today we're broadcasting again from our Bless the Ball studios here. Last week we was on location. Probably we'll be doing a lot more on location summertime, so I don't have to be in the studio, with the banners and things. But nevertheless, this show is brought to you by Understanding Life Through the Game of Basketball. I will say it and I will say it and I will say it again. All right. If you have not purchased your book, you are missing a great read. Okay. Readers are doers. I say it again. Readers are doers. And I'm a little bit biased, so if you're not reading this book, you ain't doing nothing. If you're not reading this book, you're not doing nothing. All right? A Guide to Effective Leadership and Coaching. This book gets you to understand the whole complexity of leadership, what goes into leadership, just from my point of view. All right? I'm not the end all, the know all, but it's all from my point of view. And so tonight, normally I touch on a topic or two from my book, but we're not going to do that tonight. All right. I just say go pick up the book. You know how to inbox me. You know how to reach me. You go to my website, blessedtoballsd.com, pick up the book, or you can go to bit.ly /blessedtoballbook. You go pick up the book. But today, what I want to talk about is those rubber basketballs. What happened to the rubber basketballs? And some of you guys might not know what I'm talking about. Some may not. But whatever happened to those rubber basketballs? And as I was, watching a portion of, actually, I saw the last couple minutes of the third quarter and the fourth quarter of the championship game last night. And so, and I mentioned this to my wife a few years ago back when Miami was playing San Antonio. And it was, deafening hot in San Antonio. But came back up last night to me, right? What happened to those orange basketballs or those rubber basketballs? We used to have orange ones, sometimes red, white, and blue ones, white ones, just all different type of colors, right? And if you sat on the ball, or somebody was there and they sat on the ball, they gave it what we call a tit, right? And so you get a little knot in the ball, and ball will be warped and it'll be messed up, but majority of the times when people play with those rubber basketballs, and this is where my point, this is my launching pad today, not coming from the book, but my launching pad, these rubber basketballs. Majority of the time when people had rubber basketballs, they played on what was called the blacktop. And the blacktop was concrete, asphalt. And it was just painted black. Well, depending on where you lived, it was kind of a gray gravel because it had been worn down, worn out. But everyone had those rubber basketballs. And if you've ever played with a rubber basketball, you understand that it bounces hard. If it hits the rim, it'll hit the backboard hard, it's going to bounce off. Had a lot of elasticity in it, all right? Like a whole lot of elastic. Very bouncy, very, stretchy. Um, so you had to be very mindful of how you did certain things with that ball. The good thing about it, most people could palm it. So, or always tried to palm it. I know, me and my buddies, we always tried to palm that rubber ball. Well, we tried to palm it because it had a nice grip on it. But when you shot it, if you didn't shoot it properly and take care of it nice and smoothly, it'll ricochet off. And if you was bouncing it, if it because it was rubber, if it hit a rock or if it hit, again, we're talking about asphalt. So if the ground wasn't level and it hit one of those bumps, it'll shoot off. So you had to literally take care of that ball. You had to be more aware of what you were doing with that rubber basketball. So where am I going with all this? Nowadays, we have basketball players that are so used to playing with leather basketballs. Nice and comfy and, it feels good and, everything is just right for them. Whereas you might have that rubber basketball, it might not have no grip. Hell, it might not have no air. But you had to, like those details, you had to know how to shoot that rubber basketball so that it won't ricochet. You had to know how to dribble that basketball and pay attention to it so it won't bounce off and all over the place on you. And God forbid if, you got hit in the finger with one of those balls. You was done for. But all of this was happening on the playground. And so it took a certain type of player to play on the playground with that rubber ball. Players nowadays, they want the leather ball. And they want to be in the air-conditioned gyms. It's the same thing in life. This generation now wants it easy. They want their cake and literally want to eat it too. They want you to spoon feed them. Oh, like this is my job. Well, can you help me do it? Can you show me what I'm supposed to do? As a matter of fact, can you do it for me? But I'm going to cash my own check. Oh, are we supposed to be playing defense? Well, I don't know how to do that, so I'm going to let you guard my man as well as your man, but I'm going to shoot all the balls. See, like they want everything given to them on a silver platter, and that's because they're so used to playing in the air condition where the elements are just perfect for them. You got your choice of basketballs. I ref on the weekends. Actually, a little bit more than the weekends now, but they got 5 and 6 basketballs that they're coming to these games with. Back in the day, you'd be lucky if you had one. Or you playing with the ball that the facility has or the park has. And you're going to have to deal with it. But now they want everything nice and smooth. So as I was watching the NBA Finals yesterday, I'm like, these guys, this whole aura, both teams are prima donnas. Yeah, they're good, but both teams are like prima donnas who's probably never really played on a blacktop. never really had to push and, brunt and bruise and earn their way to the air conditioned gym. Because most times, even if you were in a tournament back in the day, all of our tournaments was held outside. And so when you did get a chance to go inside and play, that was almost like a championship. So you had to earn your way inside. Well, now everybody, they're already inside. And everything's hunky. They got Gatorades, they got, 3, 4 coolers of water. You got the parents bringing them the water. And this is no knock on AAU. I'm just asking what happened to those rubber basketballs? And with those rubber basketballs, that's a mentality. Because when we played with rubber basketballs on the playground, we had a certain mentality that went along with playing the game of basketball. See, I just believe that if you've never failed outside on the playground playing basketball or skint your elbow up, most people should have like battle wounds. And if you haven't had that asphalt on your body or that jam finger from that rubber ball, and try not to be so smart about it and say, well, the leather ball is made of rubber, but it's leather. You understand what I'm talking about. But it's a certain mentality that goes behind it. And then you have certain players that have that rubber basketball mentality to where I'm going to just be blue collar. And I'm going to identify how that ball is going to come off based on it. Boop. And I'm going to know how to dribble that ball just in case it takes a wild skip. I'm going to pay attention to all the details because I can't afford to turn the ball over. I can't afford to not score. I can't afford to get off of the court. People were competitors. It was never no talk about, this tournament is rigged. Yeah, you might have a player or two every blue moon that might have been offered a sweet deal, but come on, man, it was a competitive nature. I ain't about to sell my soul just for $100 or however much, back in the day so we can lose. I'm trying to win because I got a little bit more pride than that. I just don't think this generation has it. I don't think this generation has the pride and the grit to really, really appreciate the game of basketball. You can't appreciate the game of basketball if all that you do is play with leather balls and you play in the air condition all day. The elements are perfectly fine for you. So now, as with this show do, let's bring that back over to the lifestyle. If everything is just hunky-dory and great for you and everything is set up smooth, then what you going to do when adversity hit? How are you going to act when adversity hits? If you want everything got to be so smooth or you just being spoon-fed. I had a player yesterday, and I asked him, I said like which is harder, practice or games to you? Or which is more fun? That was the question. Which is more fun, practice or games? And he said, well, they both fun. I said, okay, so have you ever had a coach just like work you in practice? No, not really. That's why the practice and the games are both equally fun. As a player, the games were tremendously fun. Practice was decent, but we had to work hard in practice. I find, I'm speaking of me, not nobody else, but I find that there's a lot of players that haven't been pushed past their threshold. So I don't think a lot of players could even play with a rubber basketball nowadays on the blacktop. I just don't think so. So, like I said, in watching the NBA Finals, and this is going to be a short one tonight, but just watching the NBA Finals, I just wonder, like, how many of these guys, I didn't see the David West scuffle, but I heard about it, and then I heard a little bit of David West's interview after the game, and he was just talking about how people talked about it when he left Indiana, and he turned down a lot of money and all those things, but he was saying that no amount of money could replace the feeling that he feels at that point yesterday being an NBA champion. And then he went on to say like he was like 99th in high school ranked. So David West is probably the closest, to that guy that like playground. Playground. People might say Draymond Green, Day is from, Saginaw or wherever, but I think a lot of that is fake hustle. I really think a whole lot of that is fake hustle. I've been following Draymond since his sophomore year at Michigan State, but I think a lot of what Draymond got is fake hustle. Like, I don't know if Draymond could have played on a playground with one of them rubber balls. Because it's no excuse. Like, you got to lay it all out on the line. I'm walking with my little rubber basketball. I'm bouncing it, and with those old rubber basketballs, ding, ding, how you bouncing it right. If it got too much air in it or the right amount of air, you knew the sound of a rubber basketball hitting the street or the concrete. And it just did something to your soul every time you bounced that ball. Bing, 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 bing. Now all you hear is do, 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 do. Because they playing with nice leather balls on shine wood and the air condition. This generation is soft, man. They soft. You might have some good players come out of this generation, but these dudes are soft, like Charmin. That's why I say, and I love his competitiveness, but I think Day might be a little bit, fugazi. If you ever saw one of them dudes on the playground and like jump up and stuff it with that rubber basketball, it's going bing. Like them dudes was tough. And I'm saying them dudes, but I'm putting myself in it. Like, it was just something about it playing on the concrete. If you ain't playing on the concrete with a rubber basketball, you ain't played basketball, man. And I understand it's a different generation, but I've literally had guys that say, man, I ain't playing on no concrete, right? I know tons of people that, and I understand why some people say that because of, knee issues or whatever. But listen, we had no choice. You played on the blacktop and you played with all your heart in the 90-degree weather, in the 95, 100-degree weather. Hell, in Chicago, we played in the 50-degree weather on the concrete with that rubber basketball. And if you think that it's something to control it in the summer, take that ball to school with you in the winter and you mess around and get to school early and you're able to play basketball on the court before y'all get to go in, because it ain't so cold to where you got to have indoor recess, but you can still play outside before you got to go in for school. Mess around and get hit with one of them basketballs when it's 30 degrees outside, that rubber basketball. You had to be tough, man. So, and it's the same thing with life. These dudes are soft. That's why everybody's shooting and killing each other now. Because they got thin skin. Or they can't take a ass whooping. Or they don't want nobody to say nothing about them. You hurt my feelings. That's why I say David West might have been the only dude that could have played on asphalt back in the day. I'm going to say it and I say it again. I think Day is, I'm questioning that. And the only reason I'm questioning that because Draymond Green talked too much. And again, I love Draymond Green. I love his fierceness. But he talked too much. He ain't talking on the playground, buddy. Not like that. I had to tell a kid the other day, you let your game speak for yourself. It was a dude I was reffing. I had to bang him with a tee. But my partner told him, hurry up, lead the court. He walking. As soon as he gets to the sideline, he literally stops. So I bang him with a tee. Coach like, no, coach, now I'm trying to talk to him. And then the kid said, I was trying to shake my player's hand. No, then after the game, because, as a referee, I can't be biased and really talk to players and coach them, because I'm a coach. So I coach while I'm reffing, right? And it's hard for me, but I have to pick and choose, right? After the game, or say doing a free throw situation, if I got two players by me, then I say something to both of them at the same time. But so I hit the kid, and then after the game, I said, come here, man. I said, like, how good do you think you are? And he said, I said, between a 1 and 10, how good do you think you are? And he said a 7, right? And so I said, okay, well, if you think you're that good, then let your game talk for you. You don't have to say nothing. You always, call a foul or any play. Like, he always had something to say. If it's talking to his teammates, to the referees, in hot air, in midair, always has something to say. But so my point of saying that is that, like, he always was talking. He ain't that tough, man. Like, back in the day, them dude, if it got to be talking like that, it was fighting. If you ain't been on no blacktop and a fight didn't break out, y'all probably wasn't serious. Y'all was probably just shooting around. And it wasn't always, like tough fisticuffs, but it was going to be a muff or two, but people were serious, man, because they understood this is my livelihood. And ain't nothing handed to me. So in life now, everybody wants something handed to them. And they think it's sweet. But you let adversity hit. That's what I keep going back and saying. Like, if it's, when I first started thinking about this was back when Miami played San Antonio. And I told my wife when LeBron James caught all them cramps, I said, he's never played on concrete. She was like, what? I said, listen to me. I said, it's hot in that gym in San Antonio. Y'all remember, give me some thumbs up if you understand what I'm talking about. That game when San Antonio played Miami Heat. And LeBron James caught cramps and, couldn't really play. I said, he ain't never played on asphalt. I said, because it's hot outside. So you got to understand that you got to keep yourself hydrated. But that was adversity. And that's hard to play. You have to be able to deal with adversity in life and continue on. So what happened? Them dudes from San Antonio, hey, we live in the San Antonio heat. I've never been in Denver, but they say, right, like mile high, like, you can't breathe, like adversity. But again, it's the same way. And it don't matter what city you're from, blacktop is blacktop. Like check ball, let's go. So watching the game, it's like I just don't know which one of them dudes was real in terms of blacktop basketball. Because when adversity hit, they folded. And I'm not a Cleveland fan, but I wanted Cleveland to win in 7 because I always root for the underdogs. I've always rooted for the underdog. And they were the underdogs in this series. But when adversity hits, Kevin Durant, great game yesterday, right? Great series. But when it's all going well, everybody's sweet. When shots fall, and they fall for everybody. But what happened when adversity comes? So when you play with that rubber ball and it's super hard, so, when you get that pass and you can't really catch it like this, you kind of got to catch it and pat it down at the same time because it's cold or because it's hot or because the ball is just hard. You have to be able to make adjustments. And while you're making them adjustments, you have to be able to be thinking on the fly, how am I going to get this done? Because if we playing on the blacktop, them dudes on the other side of the blacktop, they not letting me come to the hole. They're defending what they have. And they're not going to let me just do whatever I want to do. And that's how it is in life. People ain't going to let you just do what you want to do, so you have to find other alternatives. But now, because this generation is so soft, you ain't going to let me do what I want to do. Okay, well, now I'm going to kill you. No, man, you got to find a way to make me say mercy, not kill me. Like, you got to bring it to me in a competitive nature, mentally and physically. So, that's what I just wanted to talk about today, man, that rubber basketball. I got some buddies, that's on here now that, like, they understand. We was shoveling snow, right? We was out there, 90-degree weather. And we used to have competition. Hey, if y'all don't win, y'all can't get no water. Huh? It's 103 outside right now. What you mean? If you don't win, you can't get no water. So we out here humping. You come across that lane, you get, hit, you get banged up. Again, man, elbows, if, my knees, like if you don't have no battle wounds from the playground, you probably played in air condition your whole life. And you don't really know about a true war. Let me read some of these comments, man. Sloan say, I shoot now with a rubber ball out back, and I hate it. I want to switch up to my old leather when I'm shooting, but it's so much harder with the leather. It's a technique. It's, you feel one of them butter soft leathers, balls and like cush, but with that rubber ball, it's technique. You got to have technique and a nice soft touch. And hell, Sloan, you do remember, we had the chain nets, in the double rim. So, with that rubber ball, it might bounce out. Boom. I had a young lady the other day. She goes to Homewood Flossmoor. She wanted to play with her rubber ball on the inside. And I told her, I said, no, baby, we can't do that. I said, because like you're not ready for that. She's like, why? I said, because this ball is going to hit the backboard in a whole different way that a leather ball hits it. This ball is going to take a whole nother bounce than what you used to. Yeah, we got a leather ball, but you got to understand that you don't want this. Like, I don't want you using it with me for the first time the way that I'm going to have you work out, because you either going to have to deal with me or that ball. You can't deal with both. And so, she understood. And so, she got the leather and it was straight, because she got a couple times, tried to shoot with, that rubber ball and doing. And all right, I'm trying to tell you. But with that rubber ball, Sloan, with that technique, you understand the art of that bank shot, because it hit the rim, doom, and go right in. It got that backspin on it. As soon as it hits the backboard, it get caught and drop right in. You understood the whole concept of a finger roll, of a butter roll, because you had to set it right over the top of the rim, right on the backboard. Because as soon as when it hit its spot, it was either dropping or coming out. Like, if people with all these tricks and all that, like, if you really want to really be able to dribble, try them tricks with a rubber basketball. And I mean, me and my boy Jonell, we used to watch Pete Maravich tapes with a rubber basketball, because that's all that we had. We'd watch the tapes inside. We'd do some of the little ball handling moves in his living room, and then we'd go in the garage. So that's all and back in the day, if you did have a leather ball, and I, told my daughter the other day with, a couple that I got, you do have a leather ball, you ain't bouncing that brother outside. That all go back, to that, hey, don't mess up my good stuff. This is my good china, don't mess it up. You better not bounce that leather ball outside, man, and get all raggedy. That's for the inside. But you knew that you wasn't going to be inside all the time. So when I do go inside, I got to have a good ball for when I go inside. Especially if the camp director or if the coach ain't there and we use one of the school's balls. But I gotta have I have to have my outside ball. I have to have my outside ball, because this is how I'm gonna get better. If you ain't have a rubber basketball back in the day, you wasn't a hooper. I tell a player the other day, like I said, listen, I said 2 things that hoopers always do. They always keep a gym bag and they always keep a ball. I don't give a damn how old you are. And I'm saying hoopers, right? Notice, and I normally use the word basketball players, because a hooper and a basketball player are 2 totally different things in my mind. A hooper is that dude that's going to play on the blacktop. And he going to have his jeans on, and he going to walk to the park smoking a square, and he going to put his square out, and he going to kill everybody on the court. That's a hooper. Because he just doing it for fun. And cold. But that basketball player, that's that guy that's it means something to him. That's that dude that's going to be in the pickup games setting screens, and then people get mad. Man, what the hell you setting screens for, man? This is a pickup game. They diving on the ground in a varsity or a 21 or a 32. Man, you better chill out. Like, no, I'm a basketball player. I understand. They setting back screens, doing all the little stuff, going back door. That's a basketball player. But that hooper, that's that dude that's coming fresh from his girl house or wherever he coming from, with the square, the funny cigarette, the liquor, or just, the dude that everybody know in the hood that can get out, but he ain't got no intentions on playing organized basketball. Ain't gonna kill everybody out there. That's the hooper. But my point in saying is that hoopers and or basketball players, two things they always do. They always got a bag with their clothes in it, and they always got a ball. And you catch that dude that got a rubber ball in his bag. My man AV say, that's what I'm saying. If I can shoot with a rubber ball, that says a lot. Or if you can shoot with a rubber ball, that says a lot. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yep, used to shovel the snow. Sloan say Zsa Zsa played on the asphalt. Hey man, Zsa Zsa, wow. I don't know if he, I don't know about Zsa Zsa, man. That dude is just wild. He took my man out. Spurs would have beat them dudes. Spurs would have beat them dudes. But Zsa Zsa like the poor man Brian Scalabrine. So yeah, man. But that's basically all that I wanted to say, man. It's frustrating at times, and and it was funny because my dad asked me the other day. He was like, hey, you got a basketball? I want to go to the park. And for those that don't know, my dad, like, got it. Still like will still put it on you. He plays every Sunday, right? First of all, he still skate, still step. Still play basketball, swim, the whole nine. I thank God for a healthy mind, body, and soul father, right? But that's what he does. So he asked me, he said, hey, you got a basketball? Because I want to go to the park and shoot. Okay. Well, I literally have 2 bagfuls of rubber basketball. I work basketball camp all the time. So I, get some basketballs from camp, whatever. So I got, and he was shocked by me. He like, man, you got these rubber balls. Well, dude, you said you wanted to go to the park. Again, I ain't about to give you these leather balls to go to the park. But you said you wanted to go to the park. Now, you got to be old school to say that. He didn't say, I want to go to the gym, because he play in the gym every week. But he said, I want to go to the park. So I got a rubber basketball for you. And that kind of prompted this, because I was like, man, I wonder how many of them NBA dudes really have played with a rubber basketball before. And I know it's a different generation, but how many have played with a rubber basketball? Like, how many have played on the blacktop? Like, how many have really put in that type of work? So, that was just always intriguing to me. So I said, well, let's talk about it. Let's, hear what they say. And, hey, there's nothing wrong with scouting services, all that, but the scouting service on the playground, who do y'all think the scouting services on the playground was? It was 2 people consistently that was the scouting service on the playground. One, if you're a guy, scouting service was them girls. They gonna laugh at you if you shoot an air ball or if you terrible. And, so guys going to be out there playing hard anyway. But the scouting service on the playground for guys was them girls that was at the park. Why you think Will Smith say basketball courts in the summer got girls there? I mean, Summertime, that's a classic. That's an all-time classic song. He said basketball courts in the summer got girls there. Come on, man. It was for bragging rights. But now the second scout on the playground was that person that had next. Second scout was that person that had next, because they scouting you. The person that had next, regardless who it is, you know what somebody think of your game based on who had next. Because you either knew you was gonna be on, sometimes you knew you was gonna be off, and sometimes you know, hey, I'm in this conversation. And then, God forbid you get mad because Buddy done picked his boy just because he want to pick his boy. And then you like, yeah, and then again, the scouting service, the dude that got next. So now Buddy done picked his boy instead of picking you, but the dude that got next after him, like, don't worry about it, you can run with me. Ooh, scouting service, baby. Don't worry about it, you can run with me. They're going to lose anyway. But now you hoping, again, we talk about asphalt rubber basketballs, you hoping they win. Okay, you ain't want to pick me? I hope you win. Who got next? Oh, Buddy, you got your fire, yeah. Who got next after him? I do. You can run. You good. Lord, please let them win 2 games in a row so they can still be on the court when it's time for me to play. Because I'm coming for your neck. Like that was the mentality of anybody that played on the blacktop, man. And then you get one of them good rubber balls that, like I said, you can palm and you can really manipulate. Oh, it's on. But nevertheless, man, that's about it. Hey, it was definitely the days, man. Definitely the days. AV, yours is going in the mail tomorrow. All right, yours is going in the mail tomorrow. Pick the book up. If you ain't got it, ain't no excuse. If you don't have it, there's no excuse at this point. The book has been out about 5-6 weeks. If you don't have this book, ain't no excuse. I got my man AV that I met through another buddy, through a mutual friend, and he wanted the book. I just know my man through Facebook, good guy, right? Coach too. But I got buddies. I got people that I know, people that coach, hey man, you still ain't got a book. I'm just saying. Where I come from, this is a major accomplishment. I don't give a damn if I come from the Hamptons. This is a major accomplishment. And guess what? It ain't just because I wrote it. It's value in this book. All right, I'm going to drop it real quick. Just the table of contents. I'm going to just so that you understand the chapters in this book. Transformative leadership. Regardless of styles, great coaches are all leaders. Chapter 2, developing a team culture. You either create one or it will create you. Ooh, listen to that. Listen to that chapter. Developing a team culture. Either you create one or it will create you. Culture. Chapter 3, the true definition of success. Having a genuine concern for players as people is vital. Chapter 4, why you practice for greatness. Games I won in practice, not the actual match. Chapter 6 or 5, confidence is half of the battle. Believe that you can and you will. I mean, that's plain and simple. Chapter 6, team chemistry. The right mix always makes the perfect recipe. Man, you got to be kidding me. Now, I wrote it, but I'm saying you got to be kidding me. Team chemistry. The right mix always makes the perfect recipe. That should tell you what the chapter about there. Chapter 7, leaders are born, leadership is made. Comparing qualities of great coaches and leaders. This is why I get into my John Wooden and a few other coaches that I've, patterned some things after, and I've tried to duplicate certain things that they did. And, I've always been a Dean Smith fan, always been a John Wooden fan, like in terms of great coaches, Hall of Fame, a lot of coaches that I like and that I love. And I'm a coach's coach, right? I study coaches. So if I say that I like a team, it's probably because of the coach. Like, I like Alabama football. And why do I like Alabama football? Because I like Nick Saban. Plain and simple. I'm a Patriots fan because I love Bill Belichick. Like, I used to like the New Orleans Hornets when Chris Paul was there because I loved Byron Scott during his initial tenure as a head coach on the NBA level. Like, I love the schemes and the things that Byron Scott did. I was a Boston Celtics fan when they had the big three, not just because of KG, but like Doc Rivers, and I don't really like the Clippers because I just think that stadium is dull. There's just something about their game that's just dull, right? Like, it just, when you look at it, the scenery is just dull. But I love Doc Rivers, man. He got like some great stuff. I love coaches. I ain't gonna just follow a team because of the players. I'm gonna follow them because of the coach. I think Phil was great, and Phil wasn't a mastermind. I just think Phil was great because Phil understood how to manage egos. That's where that Zen came in. Right? Phil wasn't the mastermind behind none of that stuff that the Bulls did. But what Phil was so brilliant at was that Phil could manage egos. And Phil could get everybody focused on one goal. If it's burning sage, if it's reading a book, whatever, Phil knew how to bring them dudes together. Like, where is it? It says developing a team culture. Chapter 2. Either you create one or it will create you. That's why Phil Jackson was good in my book. That's why he was good in my book. Like, so I study coaches. So when I say, like, leaders are born, leadership is made, just because you're in a position of leadership don't mean that you're a leader. And that's from a coaching standpoint or a Rick, what up, baby? I got one of my old players on Instagram. Just because you're in a leadership position don't mean that you're a leader. So sometimes we have to be careful who we follow in because we're forced to follow them. We got to kind of understand, do they have some substance? And there are some great leaders There are some great leaders that never really get pushed to the forefront. Some great leaders never get pushed to the forefront, be it assistant coaches, assistant managers, whatever it might be. That's why I always said that my captains were never the best player. It was that person that can move individuals. That's the way that I always did it. And then finally, chapter number 8, the reason behind why I love to coach. Personal leadership philosophy. And I mean, so I have my personal coaching philosophy in here. It's copyrighted and everything. So I'm not worried about, nobody trying to take it and use it for their own, but, use it, get what you can get from it and use it, because I gathered all my stuff from other people too, man. The one thing about coaching is that coaching is borrowing. And I say that in a nice way. I don't want to say stealing, but I mean, that's kind of what it is. Coaches see what they can take from another coach and they develop it into their own realm. Ain't nobody really reinventing the wheel all over again. And in life, you shouldn't. Why are you going to reinvent the wheel? Just duplicate what was successful that somebody else was doing. But a lot of times we say, man, I ain't biting or whatever. You don't have to bite. You don't have to tie your shoe the same way that I do. But if you know that I've been successful in tying my shoe, no matter what shoe I have, and all you got to do is duplicate what I'm doing, and it's going to work. You can have a little success too. So coaches, that's what coaches do. Coaches say, hey, man, yeah, I like that. Man, I like that. Like, I had a coach send me a film of one of his players. Kid was from Milwaukee. The team was from Milwaukee. The kid was from Milwaukee when I first got to Truman as a head coach of college. I didn't take the kid. The kid was okay, and the reason I didn't take him because at that point we didn't have housing. So I wasn't going to put the kid in a bad situation and say, get on the train and come up from Milwaukee every day to come to school and play for me. Like, no, I'm not going to put you in that situation because I care about you as a person. Going back to where is it? Going back to chapter going back to chapter 3, the true definition of success. Having a genuine concern for players as people is vital. So, like, I that's success to me. Like, I'm not gonna put a player or parent or somebody in a bad situation. If I can't do for you, I'm gonna let you know. But I'm watching this film of this kid, and man, they are running an offense it's a 2-1-2 offense. And I'm watching it, and I literally had to rewind it about 7 times because I'm trying to figure out, man, everybody just in and out. Like, what the hell they doing? Like, everybody moving. And I finally got it. And to this day, that's one of my best plays because you can run it against a man-to-man or a zone. That coach was running it actually against man-to-man. But I ran it also against a zone. Because, here's a tip for you coaches that might not get it. You can run your man-to-man plays against the zone. All you got to do is screen the outside man. Just screen the furthest outside man. Because now you're screening an area. You're not screening a person. See, when the team is in a zone, you screen an area. You don't screen the person. So I know a lot of coaches that, like I've beat a lot of teams because I know that coaches play a lot of man-to-man even when I was in high school. I'm going to play a zone because I know that y'all don't work on zone plays. So now you're at a deficit because your team don't know what to do because y'all haven't worked on it. Y'all haven't been prepared. Y'all ain't never played with no rubber basketball before. You know what I'm saying? Y'all been in the air conditioned all the time. Y'all ain't played with that rubber ball. Like, you don't know how to make them adjustments on the fly. So you can always run your zone plays or your man plays against the zone. But yeah, I don't know what's going on with, like I say, Facebook trying to not let me be great, man. But yeah, that's just some tidbits, man. So those rubber basketballs, man, like basketball was fun, but it was serious. And I want to AV, I'm gonna send it out tomorrow, man. Yeah, I'm about to end this myself, but I appreciate you, my brother. I definitely appreciate you. Enjoy basketball. Enjoy basketball, but let's get back to the toughness of basketball, where you was outside with that rubber ball, playing in the driveway, playing on the playground. Let's not be so soft and gotta have it so sweet, playing with that leather ball on the nice, polished wood and want it the way that you want it. Sometimes you gotta muck up the water a little bit and understand that there's a reason behind why you playing. And if it ain't a reason behind why you playing, that's fine too, but just move out the way for them people that have a reason for why they playing or why they coaching. So with that being said, man, again, this show is always sponsored by Understanding Life Through the Game of Basketball. That's why the show is called Life and Basketball. All right. Share this information, share this live feed. And mind you, we didn't even really talk about the NBA championship. I do want to take my hat off to the Golden State Warriors, even though I don't think that they rubber basketball players, but for this day and age, they did win it. They did win it. So I take my hat off to them. But go get your book. Go get your book. Great Father's Day gift. Great Father's Day gift for that coach that you may know, for that parent. Hell, for yourself. Great Father's Day gift. All right, go to my website, blessedtheballsd.com, or go to the bit.ly link /blessedtheballbook. But whatever you do, go pick it up. All right. We almost at 60 minutes. I wasn't going to go this long today, but sometime when you get to talking and I had some engagement, that's great. I love engagement. Go ahead and hit the button so that whenever I'm on, whenever I'm on live, and you understand that I do basketball and I have another company. So either way, when I come on, I'm coming to bring value. So sometime I'm talking about basketball, sometime I'm talking about finances and money. But either way, I'm bringing that value. But go pick up the book. I'll talk to you guys. Enjoy your day. Peace.